Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first installment of Rennie, Unhinged. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give this a shot because I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Always wanted to find time to do this, had the equipment for it, and now I'm ready to finally give it a shot. Welcome to my brand new channel, Rennie, Unhinged. Now, a lot of talking channels are on right now, a lot of podcast channels, a lot of political channels, a lot of sports channels. So we're going to combine two of them. This is going to be, you're going to hear a lot of this from pretty much everywhere. But this is just a place for me to come and just, talk about a bunch of stuff and have fun doing it just because I like talking about things and I have, a really good microphone that I really want to put to good use. So, what's this going to be about? Why have I brought you all here? Well, for starters, my name is Rennie. I'm currently a college student, and I seem to have a lot more free time on my hands than I would like, and there are a lot of hectic things going on in the political realm, as well as in the sports realm. As I am recording this video, we are the Friday before Championship Sunday in the NFL. So it should be a very fun day. I myself am a Packers fan, so I'm ready to see my team again one step away from the Super Bowl. The only difference is will we actually, get into the Super Bowl this time? And Joe Biden was just, elected as the 46th president of the United States. Well, he was sworn in as the president of the United States. Didn't vote for him. And I'll just say that off the bat because if we're gonna go with this, we might as well bring it up now. I'm a proud conservative. Voted for Donald Trump in 2016. In this past year in 2020, because I turned 18 in 2019. So I was able to finally vote. Proudly voted for him. We'll do it again if he runs in 2024, and we'll cover all of that topic in due time because this channel is for me to just go off the cuff, talk about whatever for however long, and just really put some energy behind it because things are done better when they are done with passion. Look at Stephen A. Smith and how popular he is because of how passionate he is in what he talks about. People are going to be engaged if you really show some interest in it and make it connect and really connect with them a little bit deeper level than just, all right, well, this happened today and we're going to go ahead and talk about it. No, you got to actually be engaging. And I am actually a communications major now trying to go into sports broadcasting. So what better way to practice broadcasting than to try to gain an audience talking about things that I personally have an interest for, and that being the realms of politics and the realms of sports. And at first glance, they may not seem like they're really connected, but in this most recent NBA season during the NBA bubble, politics and sports really got intertwined. Not saying that they should be intertwined, I'm saying that they were intertwined. So, obviously, we'll give them due respect in talking about each of them respectively, but, they can be blended. So there might be an episode where we talk about, both of them because they kind of, intertwine and, talk about specific things that, maybe they shouldn't be talking about, but they're doing it anyway because they have a platform for it. So, pretty much how I plan to do this. And you know what? I'm pretty much approaching this as a course syllabus because we just got done with our first week of classes. So a lot of these teachers in their first day go over the syllabus. So here's the outlook of what I want to, my channel to look like. And this is the first video that I've published on YouTube. And what I pretty much said is I'm going to come with a question, and that question will be presented at the beginning of the video. And throughout the rest of the video, just pretty much argue the question and just see if we can figure out exactly what the answer to it is. And that could be a sports question, that could be a political question, but either way, just bring one thing on the table and discuss that. I don't want to, because I made the mistake of being in a particular podcast where it's like exceedingly long, so it's really hard for people to gain interest in that. If it's a short glimpse, say about maybe 10 minutes, 12 minutes max, you can at least keep the audience engaged long enough for you to get your point across. And, you're not going to lose them halfway through. Say you have a really good point at like 20 minutes in the video, but you lost them at 5 minutes because you were doing an intro that, took too long. So, that's pretty much where we're going to go. So, topic number one that I'm going to bring to you today, and I, heard about this today. One of Joe Biden's first executive orders was to freely allow for transgender, male to female transgenders, to actively participate in women's sports. So here we go. Politics over to sports. Again, interconnected. Now, this is a very simple issue, in my opinion, because obviously we don't want to see anyone discriminated against, no matter how few and far between and how few their group is. This is a free country. Everyone deserves those rights. Yes, that is what the United States of America brings, is the freedom for you to express yourself however you want to do it. Does not matter whether you're straight, gay, whatever. You literally can do whatever the hell you want here. That's the whole point. However, a line has to be drawn at some point. Competition is a very healthy part of human existence, a very, very healthy interaction. Competition is what drives businesses. It's what actually drives consumer prices down, trying to engage the customer. Competition is the basis of all sports. Competition is what lets you to get into prestigious universities. You have to bust tail in order to put up better scores to compete against these other students that want to get into the same institutions that you do. Competition brings out the best of people in almost everything that it does. Now, competition can also lead to things getting heated. We see this a lot in sports, and it can lead to a lot of bad blood between a lot of people. So competition is good in most of its senses, but too much of it can also be, can have a little bit of consequences. So with that being said, with competition being healthy and actually wanting to have competition, within, the realm of sports, because that's what sports allows us to do. It allows us to compete in a safe way and just have fun playing a game that we all love to do. When I was in high school, I played both football, played football, baseball, basketball, tennis. I've done a lot of things. Football and basketball were my two favorites, and I was very competitive. So those are the two sports I liked most, because when I got angry, like when I whether not having a bad game, officials were annoying me, team was playing well, I could just, turn the dial up a little bit, start playing a little bit harder, and in those particular sports, football, lay somebody out if you need to, and for basketball, get a little bit more physical in the paint, trying to get somebody off you, make sure they know you're there. It's just kind of how I did it, because it's that sense of competition where you want to be the best that's out there. It leads you to be the better version of yourself in that realm. So why do I bring this up? Well, how can you have competition when you bring in people who are biologically superior than those that they are competing against and are running away with every title? We've seen this already. There was, a Massachusetts run or something like that, a place up in the northeast part of the country, where there was this probably race, 1,000 meters, whatever. I don't exactly know. I just know that the top two places, first and second place, top two on the podium, 2 of the 3 podium spots, were taken in a woman's race by biological males. It completely strips the competition away, because one side is physically and biologically superior than the other one. And we've known this. You know why we know this? Because we never see a female transition to a male and go compete in men's sports. And if they do, it does not go well. You have these athletes in the NBA and the NFL that are in peak physical condition. They are males in peak physical condition, juiced up on testosterone, and they knock the crap out of each other, who are other testosterone-filled, peak physical condition males, and they were able to, they hurt each other. Now, what are they going to do to a, most recent testosterone-injected female who is 5'2" and weighs 150 pounds? Like a twig. This is common knowledge. This is why we have them competing in their respective groups. There are, of course, some sports where it's not as, physically challenging, I should say, where it's not, your physical attributes directly influence how well you play. For example, we've had several battle of the sexes matches in tennis. Now, tennis is, of course, a very physically grueling sport. You need a lot of endurance, but you also have to learn a lot of technique. So even though you might not be as strong as somebody, as fast as somebody, if you have proper technique and know what you're doing, you have a chance to beat them. And sure enough, in those Battle of the Sexes matches, a couple times the woman was victorious, and because that's the type of sport that tennis is. Golf is the same way, even though they still compete in their respective tours. But sports like basketball, football, especially, well, football doesn't really have a women's league, and track and running, where it's like all about how strong, how fast you are, how quickly you can move. It's not so technique based. It's literally how big and how physically gifted you are in the sport. It completely strips the competition away from it. It lets one side completely run away with it. Hence why you saw first and second place in a state championship for 1,000-meter track meet, and a biological female takes third place to biological males running in front of her. That I have a problem with. You can't discriminate against anybody, but not permitting transgender people to play in biological sports is not discriminatory against that particular people. It's actually protecting the people that they're going to be competing against, and not putting them behind the eight ball and throwing someone in there that they just cannot compete with because they're literally of a different gender or a different sex. They are completely different body shapes, sizes, and strengths. This should be common knowledge, but for some reason it's not. So, there's our first topic to discover on this channel. What do you guys think? Do you think that transgender should be able to compete? And if so, why do we only see it Why do we only see it one way? Why do we only see biological males transitioning to become females and going in their sports? Why don't we see it the other way around if it's such a good idea? So, thank you for joining the first installment of RJ Unhinged. I hope this gives you a glimpse of what this is going to be like. And take care, everyone, and God bless.